again, this is the free time to be able to meet people. You make sure you always go to your opponent's fundraisers, okay? And the reason why you do that is that a lot of these races you're going to be running on, it's just not going to be one opponent you're running. Say you're running where there's 2 or 3 open seats, okay? So even if you go to one of your opponent's fundraiser, well, if there's 3 seats and there's 2 of you there, well, the other folks are meeting you as another person that's running for that same office, where there's multiple seats that are open. Web page was mentioned. It's very important to fire that up and get that going. Slate mailers. Jim, you heard that a couple people weren't fans of slate mailers, but let's think about what a slate mailer is. Slate mailers have changed over the years. It used to be 25 years ago, 20 years ago, when people received a slate mailer. And a slate, who doesn't know what a slate mailer is? Does anybody not know? Okay. The organization that sent that slate mailer truly was endorsing those candidates. They went out and they said, okay, gun owners saying, okay, we like Jim McCauley and we're going to endorse him for that. Today, slate mailers, the vast majority of them, candidates pay to be on those slate mailers, okay? It's a cheap way of getting your name out there to people. And the rule of thumb to win an election, you need a minimum of 5 to 6 contacts with a voter. And that could come by way of calling that voter. It can be way of direct mail to that voter. A slate mailer would fall in that category. So you know, don't shut the door, because you can get on a slate mailer for a small district for as little as $75. If your district's large, it may run $300 or $400. Again, I have that information in our office. I have all the slate mailer organizations that are recognized in California that you can write to. Most generally, the slate mailer organizations offer their positions on the slate mailers to incumbents first. Why do they do that? Because they like to advertise that people who get on our slates, 85% of the time they win the election. Well, if they are selling it to incumbents to begin with, incumbents generally win the elections more often than non-incumbents. But again, we have information that we can direct you to that. All of you basically will be in your races are going to be nonpartisan races. But that sounds nice on the surface, but it is partisan in Placer County. I would strongly suggest to you, depending on how you're registered to vote, be it Democrat or Republican, I'm talking major party here, is to contact the local central committees for those political parties. The Republican Central Committee is very active in Placer County, so is the Democratic Central Committee. The Republicans also have an organization called the Republican Congress. Now, why do you want to contact these people? These people can help you with your campaign. On the Republican side, the Central Committee will put out a slate mailer, and they, at no cost to you, they will pick Republicans for the various races, and they will endorse. The same thing on the Democratic side. I'm not sure for this November if the Democrats will be providing a slate mailer or not. I know the Republicans are. So again, you got to think out of the box. You've got to, you have to look for all sources and all places for help. Like when you go to an event, always take like a bottle of wine. If there's going to be a raffle, why do you do that? Well, you take that bottle of wine and on the top of it you put your name and what office you're running for. So for a $7 bottle of wine, whoever's there at the event, they're going to hear Ryan Ronco's running for county clerk. He's donated this bottle of wine.
For the record, I'm not going to run for county clerk against Jeb. Just want to make sure we're clear.
But it's another cheap way of getting your name out. When you run for local office, you're making a strong commitment of your time. If you're not willing to walk precincts If you're not willing to go to all the local events that you possibly can go to, you're not going to make it. Now, one of the most important things that in Placer County, and you're not going to hear this from too many places, is that our county, the majority of the voters for this upcoming election are going to vote by mail. I suspect about 70% of all votes cast will be done by mail. Currently in Placer County, 50% of all the registered voters are permanent absentee voters, meaning I mail that ballot to that voter prior to the election. 9 to 11% will vote that ballot within 48 hours of receiving it. So it's no longer, it used to be that you wanted to peak on election day. You're now talking about a 29-day cycle. Your campaign has to be ready to get that message out 28, 29 days before the election. And I can't stress to you, the whole idea of campaigning has changed. It's a new ballgame. And if you overlook these absentee voters, if you don't give them special attention, if you don't get your message out to them very, very early, you're going to miss the boat. If you wait till election day to try to win the election, you're going to lose. It's just the way it is today. I know some candidates haven't woken up to that yet. Some, you know, but the you don't hear it from the political consultants like you used to. It's very, very important. Now, what can we do to help you along those lines? I can provide to you all of the, and we'll get into it deeper here in a few minutes, but I can provide to you right now all of the permanent absentee voters that live in Placer County, all the permanent absentee voters that live within the district that you're running for. So that gives you a leg up as to the universe of voters that you want to contact first. Some of the mailing houses have what is called, can provide you an absentee voter chase. And what does that mean? If you have the money, on a daily basis, we have one level where everybody's an absentee voter. We have those people. Then I have requests for absentees on top of that. On a daily basis, I can provide you the names of those voters that have requested an absentee voter, so you can follow up with your own mail, or I could set it up where I send that information for you to a mailer house and they can do the work for you. I can go on and on and on. We can talk about the processes and ways of winning an election for the next 6-7 hours, but that's what this program's about. But I'm just saying to you today that there's a lot still to learn. And I make this offer equally in regards of your political party or the way you think. And why are we doing this? Why am I doing this? Because I do believe that you guys are the foundation. You're the future. The decisions that are made today will affect us 20 years from now, what happens in Placer County. And it's my goal that we have the best people possible representing us for this county. And anything that I can help anyone along those lines, I'm willing to do.